Hey, it's Joel, and boy am I excited because I just got back from a really cool event in Silicon Valley where I got to see the AtomForm Palette 300 3D printer printing for the first time. Well, it was the first time for me. I know they showed it off at TCT Shenzhen, I believe, and it was printing there. But my first experience with the machine was a demo non-printing unit at CES, which you saw in my CES video. So to see this thing going for realsies in person was really cool. Where are my manners? Welcome to 3D Printing Nerd Studios, proudly powered by PCBWay. PCB, CNC, and 3D printing. It's all at PCBWay.com. And thankfully, 3D printing is what we're talking about, and it took an entire day. You see, this event from AtomForm was in Silicon Valley, and I live on the West Coast near Seattle. And to get from Seattle to Silicon Valley, it's roughly an hour and a half to 2 hours flight. So, what if I wake up really early, get on an airplane, go to the event, be rad, and then come home later that day? That sounds like a good idea.
Sounds exhausting.
My day started off at 4 o'clock in the morning because I wanted to wake up and shower and get ready and go to the airport in plenty of time in case there were extra long waits for TSA. And eventually I got onto my airplane, and as I tweeted out, I had a whole row to myself, but I was very, very short on the legroom. The plane landed in Silicon Valley, and I met producer David at the airport, and we made our way to the building that AtomForm was using for their event. And boy, did they put some polish on that thing. 3 stories worth of space for people to be. AtomForm, fantastic job. We will absolutely get to footage of this 3D printer going because it has some fascinating details that I want to talk about. But first, while there during the day, I got to see a lot of my friends, people that also create content and articles within the community. There was STL Denise, there was Mandic Reilly, there was Neokoi Prince, and there was the Print House. All sorts of wonderful people. In fact, I was on a panel with Robbie Does Things and the Print House, and Professor Barry Cates, who was a professor at Stanford. It was a wonderful discussion. Oh, and the Print House, his name is Jerry. Finally, though, we're at the part of my day where I get to see this 3D printer in action. This is the AtomForm Palette 300. It is a Core XY 3D printer with some smarts built in. Most notably, it has this turret system in the back that houses the nozzles. Up to 12 nozzles is what it holds. It's a fascinating mechanism. It is beautifully complex. The nozzles are stored at the bottom in this turret mechanism, and as the printer is printing, it then says, hey, I need to go to the next color or the next filament or whatever. And it goes and it parks in a very familiar way. But then this mechanism comes up, attaches to the nozzle, and unscrews it from the head. And then it's captured, and it brings the nozzle, does a little flip-de-doo, and then parks it into the turret system. The turret system rotates just a little bit to get to the nozzle that it needs, and then that mechanism captures the nozzle, does a little spin move, brings it up into the head, and then tightens it. It was fascinating to see that the way that AtomForm has made their machine is in a way that doesn't use a quote-unquote quick release sort of nozzle mechanism. It is tightened and untightened traditionally. Historically, when you had to tighten or untighten a nozzle, you had to torque it against a heater block, and into that was a heat break, and then into that was a heat sink. So this nozzle, while you still have to tighten and untighten, it includes that whole bit in the nozzle, so you don't have to torque it against something. It just tightens it nice and tight so that it'll run. It was almost refreshing to see a connection like that. I don't have any other way of describing it other than it felt like a new way to do an old thing. As far as the specs go on the 3D printer, they look kind of like this. It's 300 millimeters cubed build volume. It says a maximum print speed of 800 millimeters per second. It has 20K accelerations. The nozzle goes to 350C. It's a textured PEI plate. The heat bed goes to 110C. The chamber goes to 65C. It's got a HEPA filter and activated carbon filter. It has all sorts of sensors on it and smart ways of calibration, AI detection, of course, and the whatnot. The machine, when I saw it printing, was making this really cool butterfly. And they also had models that the machine had printed on the desk, and they looked great as well, and as they should. So this was a demo/launch event. Obviously, these prints and this machine were in a demo environment and they were tuned to show off its abilities, and that's cool. But of course, at some point in the future, I'm gonna get one of these in studio, and I can't wait to show you what my findings and what my prints are. I'm really looking forward to it. Next to the machine was something that was almost as interesting, if not more. It was their RFD6, and it is a 6 material cabinet that hooks up to the machine. And this cabinet has some really cool features. It has active drying up top. So there's 3 spools up top. It'll actively dry those. Below it has heat stabilized filaments, and those aren't actively dried, but those have been in the cabinet. And so it can keep the moisture out. You understand what they're trying to do there. Top row heats, bottom row just is the filament. It does have some smarts in there, lots of sensors on board, and it looked like a really cool way to store and use filament. Like producer David and I both thought that this would be an incredible thing to hook up to other 3D printers. Whether or not they're going to be doing that, I don't know, but it'd be really cool to see.
I would like that.
And I think this is a really cool addition for the Palette 300. That's not it. Remember, this thing has 12 nozzles, 12. And the RFD6 holds, as the name suggests, 6 filaments. So you can hook up another one to the Palette 300 to take advantage of all of those nozzles, which would give you 12 filaments. But you can also hook up 4 more RFD6s to give you a total of 6, which 6 times the 6 filaments in each one, 36 filaments or colors. 36! With up to 36 filaments or colors, you might be worried about how AtomForm is managing the swap between these, because with 36 colors, like if you had 36 colors on a single layer, that could take some time, but the swapping mechanism is ingenious. On the back of the machine, there is 2 buffers for filaments that come in. You can have 2 filaments coming in to the Palette 300. That's fine, 2 filaments, but there's some intelligence there. The RFD6 can feed a filament into the top row and it can take it. And then another RFD6 can feed into the second pathway to get ready for the next color or next material that is needed. Here's an example. Color A, you're printing with it. You're having a good time and it's laying it down really nice on the build plate. The machine knows that you're gonna need color B at some point, so it's gonna feed it into that secondary tube. So now you have it ready and waiting. So the machine gets done, it parks, the nozzle mechanism comes up, swaps it out, it loads the second material, and then it's good to go again. So in this case, you don't have to wait for material to retract all the way to the holder and then new material to come out.
Genius.
It's a really cool way of doing it, and it was cool to see in person, and obviously it's gonna need some testing in-house once we get that machine in, but could you imagine 36 colors available all at once? I can't. Like, I can't imagine what I would need that for, but I'm really excited to find out. The event was really cool. I'm really happy that AtomForm brought us out, and it was really exciting to see the Palette 300 printing for the first time for me. It was exciting to see the quality that it could do and the speed at which it was going and the way that it could swap filaments out. I think that they're obviously still working on it, but they have the hardware, they have the sensors, they have the mechanical assemblies. Once they get the software figured out and it comes out and people use it, there's got to be some really cool stuff made with it, and I can't wait to see that. Well, thanks for watching. If you made this far, you're awesome. Don't forget to hug each other more, fight because you believe in, and print all the things. And as always, high five.